Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the Google NotebookLM course. In this course, you will learn how to use NotebookLM as a powerful AI research assistant to organize information, understand complex topics, and create high-quality content. We will begin with what is NotebookLM AI tool and how it is different from ChatGPT and Google Gemini. Next, you will learn how to create a notebook in NotebookLM to organize your project, research, or learning content in one place. Next, you will learn how to add or discover new sources such as PDFs, websites, videos, and documents to build your knowledge base. Then we will see how to use chat in NotebookLM to ask questions directly from your sources and get accurate answers. You will also learn how to create and add notes to capture key ideas and important insights. After that, we will explore mind maps to visualize complex topics and understand relationships between concepts. We will then learn how to generate audio overviews to quickly review your content in an easy way. You will also see how to generate video overviews to make your content more engaging and easy to understand. Next, we will create infographics to represent information visually and clearly. We will also generate slide decks to present your ideas in a structured format. Then you will learn how to generate blog posts from your content. We will also create detailed reports based on your research material. After that, you will learn how to generate quizzes to test your understanding. Finally, we will explore public notebooks and featured notebooks to learn from real examples. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to clearly understand what Google NotebookLM is, how it is different from ChatGPT, why Google built NotebookLM, and an important concept called source-grounded AI. Let's start with the most basic question. What exactly is Google NotebookLM? According to Google, NotebookLM is an AI-powered research assistant designed to help you refine and organize your ideas. NotebookLM works by allowing you to upload your own sources and then interact with them using AI. These sources can include PDF documents, websites, YouTube videos, audio files, Google Docs, and Google Slides. Once you add sources, NotebookLM helps you understand, summarize, and explore that information in a structured and reliable way. At the core of NotebookLM is Google's Gemini model, which provides advanced reasoning and interaction capabilities. This means you can interact with your content through text and also experience outputs in formats like study guides, briefings, audio overviews, mind maps, and more. Now let's understand how NotebookLM is different from ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a general-purpose AI assistant. It is designed to answer a wide range of questions using general knowledge from its training data. When you ask ChatGPT something, it does not limit itself to your personal documents. NotebookLM works in a very different way. NotebookLM is notebook-centric and source-first. It focuses on the content that you upload into a notebook and generates responses based on those sources. When you chat with NotebookLM, it provides grounded answers with clear inline citations showing exactly where the information came from. This focus on citations brings accuracy, transparency, and trust, which is especially important for learning, research, and professional work. Now let's talk about why Google built NotebookLM. Google observed that people are surrounded by information but struggle to process it effectively. Students have textbooks and notes. Professionals have reports, policies, and presentations. Creators and researchers have articles, videos, and reference materials. Google built NotebookLM to help people work directly with their own information instead of searching endlessly or relying on generic answers. The idea was to create a personal research assistant that understands your sources and helps you think, learn, and organize ideas more effectively. This brings us to the most important concept in this lecture: source-grounded AI. Source-grounded AI means the AI bases its responses on the sources you provide instead of guessing or inventing information. NotebookLM reads your documents, analyzes them using Gemini's reasoning, and responds using that content with visible citations. This significantly reduces hallucination and improves reliability. Because of this design, NotebookLM is especially useful for studying, research analysis, content creation, and decision making. Before we close, let's briefly talk about availability. NotebookLM currently supports more than 80 languages. It is available in the browser in over 180 regions where the Gemini app is supported. Most users with business or school Google accounts have access to NotebookLM, and it is also available to education users of all ages. Google also applies stricter content policies for users under 18, and some features may be restricted by age. So to summarize, NotebookLM is an AI-powered research assistant from Google that helps you refine, organize, and understand your ideas using your own sources, powered by Gemini and grounded in citations. In the next lecture, we will start working hands-on with NotebookLM and explore the interface step by step. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, let's understand the difference between NotebookLM, ChatGPT, and Google Gemini in just 2 minutes. All three use AI, but they are built for very different purposes. Let's start with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a general-purpose AI assistant. It is great for explaining concepts, writing content, brainstorming ideas, and helping with coding. But ChatGPT answers from its general training data. It does not know your textbook, your notes, or your syllabus unless you paste them manually. That's why, for exams, it can sometimes give out-of-scope answers. Now let's talk about Google Gemini. Gemini is also a general AI assistant built deeply into Google's ecosystem. It is excellent for search-based questions, creative writing, summaries, and productivity tasks. Think of Gemini as an AI-powered Google Search Plus assistant. Like ChatGPT, Gemini focuses on exploration and creativity, not syllabus accuracy. Now comes NotebookLM. NotebookLM is completely different. It is a source-grounded AI tool. NotebookLM answers only from the documents you upload. Your PDFs, your notes, your articles, your videos. If something is not in your material, NotebookLM will not invent it. That makes it perfect for studying, exam preparation, and research. NotebookLM can also turn your notes into mind maps, flashcards, quizzes, audio, videos, and slide decks. So here's the simple rule. Use ChatGPT for learning new ideas and writing content. Use Gemini for search, productivity, and creative tasks. Use NotebookLM when accuracy matters and your study material is a source of truth. They are not competitors. They are best when used together. Choose the right tool and your learning speed will improve dramatically. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to understand how to access Google NotebookLM and clearly explain the free plan and the paid plans that are currently available. This lecture is important because many learners get confused at the login screen or at the plans page. Let's start with access. To use NotebookLM, you must sign in with a Google account. When you open notebooklm.google.com, you are redirected to the Google sign-in page. Here, you can either enter an existing Google account or create a new account using the Create Account option. There is no separate NotebookLM account. Your Google account is your NotebookLM account. Once you sign in successfully, you are taken to the NotebookLM homepage where you can create and manage notebooks. Now let's talk about free access. By default, every eligible Google account gets access to the standard NotebookLM plan. This is the free version of NotebookLM. With the free plan, you can create notebooks, add sources, chat with your content, and generate artifacts like audio overviews and video overviews within standard usage limits. You also get access to Google's Gemini models, but with standard capacity and limits. For most beginners, students, and casual learners, the free plan is more than enough to get started, which is the standard free plan for personal projects. This is the plan most users start with. Next, you see NotebookLM in Plus. This plan is designed for active learning and deeper exploration. Compared to the free plan, Plus offers higher generation limits and better access to Gemini models. It is useful if you regularly generate audio overviews, reports, or learning artifacts. After that, you see NotebookLM in Pro. This plan is designed for daily research and structured workflows. Pro gives you significantly higher usage limits than the standard plan and better model access for consistent heavy usage. This plan is suitable for professionals, researchers, and content creators who use NotebookLM daily. Finally, you see NotebookLM in Ultra. This plan is designed for power users and very complex projects. Ultra offers the highest generation limits, the highest access to Gemini models, and priority access to new and advanced features. This plan is typically useful for large research projects, teams, or users working at scale. One important thing to understand is this. All plans use the same NotebookLM interface. The difference is not what buttons you see, but how much and how deeply you can use them. Higher plans mean higher limits, better models, and priority features. You can always start with the free plan and upgrade later if your usage grows. NotebookLM does not force you to upgrade immediately. Now let's summarize this lecture. You access NotebookLM using a Google account. The standard NotebookLM plan is free and sufficient for most beginners. Plus, Pro and Ultra plans offer higher limits and better Gemini model access. In this course, we are going to use the free version of NotebookLM. Alright? Great, I will see you in the next lecture. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to take a clear and accurate tour of the current Google NotebookLM interface. We will understand the notebook homepage, the notebook workspace, the sources panel, the chat area, the studio panel, and the best navigation practices based on the latest interface. Let's start from the very beginning. When you open NotebookLM, the first screen you see is the NotebookLM home page. This page shows featured notebooks at the top and your recent notebooks below. From here, you can open an existing notebook or create a new one using the Create New button. Each notebook represents one project, one topic, or one learning goal. Here, I have created few notebooks. If you want to delete the notebook, then click on the three dots and click on Delete button. Next, you can create a new notebook using either Create a New Notebook option or Create New button at the top. Once you click on Create New Notebook, you enter the notebook workspace. The notebook workspace is divided into three main vertical sections. On the left, you have the Sources panel. In the center, you have the Chat area. And on the right, you have the Studio panel. Now let's go through each section one by one. First, the Sources panel. The Sources panel is where you add and manage all your source material. You can add sources such as PDF files, websites, YouTube videos, audio files, Google Docs, and Google Slides. You will also see options to search the web for new sources and use deep research features when available. All uploaded and saved sources appear in this panel. This panel is critical because NotebookLM only answers questions based on the sources listed here. If no sources are added, NotebookLM will not generate answers. Now let's move to the center of the screen, the Chat area. The Chat area is where you interact with your notebook using natural language. You can ask questions, request summaries, compare ideas, or ask for explanations based on your sources. When no sources are added, you will see a message asking you to upload a source to get started. Once sources are added, NotebookLM responds with grounded answers and clear inline citations from your documents. This chat is not a general chatbot. It is strictly tied to the sources inside your notebook. Now let's look at the Studio panel on the right side. The Studio panel is used to transform your sources into different output formats. From here, you can generate things like audio overviews, video overviews, mind maps, reports, flashcards, quizzes, infographics, and slide decks. This is where NotebookLM goes beyond chat and becomes a learning and content creation tool. Any generated output from the studio is saved inside the notebook for future reference. You will also see an option to add notes, which lets you manually store important insights. Now let's talk about navigation best practices based on this interface. First, always add sources before asking questions. NotebookLM is source first. Without sources, nothing works. Second, use one notebook per topic. Do not mix unrelated documents inside the same notebook because NotebookLM treats everything in one notebook as connected. Third, use the chat area to explore and understand, and the Studio panel to convert understanding into structured outputs. Fourth, review citations carefully when accuracy matters, especially for study, research, or business decisions. To summarize this lecture, the home page helps you manage notebooks. The Sources panel stores your documents. The chat area lets you interact with sources. The Studio panel transforms sources into learning and content assets. This structure is what makes NotebookLM different from normal AI chat tools. In the next lecture, we will create a notebook together and add our first real sources step by step. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to create our very first notebook in Google NotebookLM, completely hands-on. I recommend that you open NotebookLM along with me and follow each step on your screen. Let's start from the NotebookLM homepage. On this screen, you can see featured notebooks and your recent notebooks. The featured notebooks are community-driven notebooks that have already been created for really popular topics that are useful for many different individuals, made available to you from right within NotebookLM. To create a new notebook, look at the top right corner and click on the Create New button. As soon as you click it, NotebookLM creates a brand new empty notebook and opens the notebook workspace. This is your working area. At the top, you can see the notebook title. By default, NotebookLM gives it a generic name like Untitled Notebook. Click on the title and rename the notebook to something meaningful. For example, you can name it Java Basic Study Notes or AI Research Project or Business Strategy Learning. Always name your notebook clearly because one notebook should represent one topic or one goal. So here, let's give the notebook name AI Research Project. Now let's look at the screen layout. On the left side, you see the Sources panel. In the center, you see the chat area. On the right side, you see the Studio panel. Right now, your notebook is empty, so the chat area clearly says, add a source to get started. This is expected behavior. NotebookLM always works source first. So the next step is to add our first source. Go to the Sources panel on the left and click on Add Sources. Here you can upload a source from your computer or add supported content like PDFs, images, text files, and more. Next, from here you add URLs of websites, YouTube videos. Next, you can also import a file directly from Google Drive like Google Docs or Google Slides. Next, you can directly paste copied text as source using Copy Text option. For this demo, select any simple document such as a PDF or a Google Doc. So here I am going to select the simple PDF file that has a content related to AI. Once the source is uploaded, you will see it listed inside the sources panel. This confirms that the source has been successfully added to your notebook. Now look at the chat area again. The message changes and you can now start asking questions. Click inside the chat box and type a simple question related to your document. For example, give me a summary of this AI document. Press enter. NotebookLM now reads your source and generates a response based only on that content. You will also notice small inline citations inside the answer. These citations show exactly where the information came from inside your source. This is one of the most important features of NotebookLM. Now let's save this information. If you find the response useful, look for the option to add it as a note. Click on Save Note. This saves the information inside your notebook so you can access it later without asking again. Next, look at the Studio panel on the right side. The Studio panel allows you to transform your sources into structured outputs. You can see options like Audio Overview, Video Overview, Mind Map, Reports, Flashcards, Quiz, Infographic, and Slide Deck. For now, you don't need to generate anything. Just remember that this panel is used after you understand your sources and want to convert them into learning or presentation material. At this point, your first notebook is ready. You have created a notebook, added a source, asked your first question, and saved your first note. This is the basic workflow you will repeat for every notebook you create in the future. Hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we created our first notebook, added a source, asked a question, and saved a note. Now in this lecture, we are going to understand the most important concept in Google NotebookLM. That concept is sources. If you clearly understand how sources work, you will always get accurate results from NotebookLM. If you don't understand sources, NotebookLM will feel confusing. So let's slow down and understand this properly. First, what exactly is a source in NotebookLM? A source is any content that you intentionally add to a notebook for analysis and learning. This content can be a PDF document, a website, a YouTube video, an audio file, a Google Doc, or a Google slide. Once you add something as a source, it becomes part of that notebook's knowledge. This leads to a very important rule. NotebookLM does not know anything outside your sources. It does not use general internet knowledge. It does not guess answers. It only works with what you give it. This is why NotebookLM is called a source-grounded AI tool. Let's compare this with a normal chatbot. In a general AI chat tool, you can ask anything and get an answer, even if it is not correct. NotebookLM behaves differently. If the answer exists in your sources, NotebookLM will answer and show citations. If the answer does not exist, NotebookLM will say that the information is not available in the provided sources. This behavior is intentional. It prevents hallucinations and builds trust. Now let's talk about how sources work inside a notebook. Each notebook is isolated. This means sources added to one notebook are not visible to any other notebook. For example, if you have one notebook for AI learning and another notebook for business strategy, their sources never mix. This design helps you stay focused and avoid confusion. Now let's understand how NotebookLM uses sources when you ask a question. When you type a question in the chat area, NotebookLM searches only inside the sources of that notebook. It reads relevant parts, connects ideas, and generates an answer based only on that content. Then it shows inline citations so you can verify where the answer came from. This makes NotebookLM extremely reliable for studying, research, and professional work. Now let's talk about the quality of sources. NotebookLM is powerful, but it cannot fix bad input. If your sources are clear, structured, and relevant, your answers will be excellent. If your sources are incomplete, poorly written, or unrelated, the answers will reflect that. This leads to a simple rule. Better sources produce better results. Now let's address a very common beginner mistake. Many users open NotebookLM and immediately start typing questions without adding sources. Then they wonder why it is not working. NotebookLM is not broken. It is doing exactly what it is designed to do. Always think of NotebookLM as a smart assistant sitting on top of your documents. No documents means no answers. Finally, let's summarize the core idea of this lecture. Sources are the foundation of every notebook. NotebookLM answers questions only from your sources. Each notebook has its own isolated knowledge base, and the quality of sources directly affects the quality of answers. In the next lecture, we will go fully hands-on and explore all supported source types and how to add them correctly. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to do a complete hands-on demonstration of adding multiple sources into a single notebook using all supported options in Google NotebookLM. This will help you clearly understand what kind of content you can bring into NotebookLM and how it all works together. I am inside my notebook called AI Research Project. On the left side in the sources panel, I click on Add Sources. This opens the Add Sources window you see on the screen. Now let's add sources one by one. First source, PDF file. Let's start with a PDF file. I click on Upload Files. Go to the location where your PDF file is present. So here I select a PDF named AI Fundamentals.pdf. This document contains basic concepts of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Once uploaded, the PDF appears in the sources panel. This confirms that the PDF is now part of this notebook. Next, second source, text file. Now let's add a plain text file. Again, I click on Upload Files. This time I select a file called ai-notes.txt. This file contains short notes about AI definitions and examples. After uploading, the text file appears as a separate source in the Sources panel. NotebookLM treats this just like any other document. Third source, image file. Now let's add an image file. I click on Upload Files again. This time I select an image named AI-diagram. This image shows a simple diagram explaining the relationship between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. Once uploaded, the image also appears inside the Sources panel. NotebookLM can now use the information from this image along with other sources. Next, fourth source, article link. Next, let's add a website article. I click on Websites. Here, I paste a blog article URL titled What is Artificial Intelligence? NotebookLM now reads the content of the article and converts it into a usable source. After processing, the article appears in the Sources panel. Next, fifth source, YouTube video. Now let's add a YouTube video. Again, I use the Websites option. I paste a YouTube link titled What is AI Artificial Intelligence in 2 minutes. NotebookLM extracts the spoken content from the video and adds it as a source. You can now ask questions about this video just like any document. Next, source, Google Doc. Now let's add a Google Doc. I click on Drive. I select a Google Doc named AI Study Notes from my Google Drive. This document contains structured notes and examples related to AI. Once selected, the Google Doc is added directly to the notebook without downloading anything. Finally, let's add copied text. I click on Copied Text. Here, I paste a short paragraph explaining AI in simple terms. For example, Artificial intelligence refers to machines that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. I confirm, and the pasted text is now treated as a separate source. Understanding what we just did. Now take a look at the sources panel. You can see multiple sources added. One PDF file, one text file, one image, one article link, one YouTube video, one Google Doc, and one copied text source. All of these together form the knowledge base for this notebook. Now when I ask a question in the chat area, NotebookLM can combine information from all these sources and respond with citations. This is the real power of NotebookLM. You are not limited to a single document. You are building a multi-source knowledge workspace. One important best practice: always add sources that are related to the same topic. Do not mix unrelated content inside one notebook. This keeps answers focused, accurate, and meaningful. In the next lecture, we will start asking advanced questions and see how NotebookLM uses these sources to generate grounded answers. Hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we added multiple sources into a single notebook. We added a PDF file, a text file, an image, a website article, a YouTube video, a Google Doc, and copied text. Now that our notebook has rich content, it's time to use the most important feature of NotebookLM. That feature is asking the right questions. In this lecture, we will work hands-on with the chat area and learn how to ask smart questions that give accurate, useful, and trustworthy answers. Let's begin. I am inside the notebook called AI Research Project. On the screen, you can see all the sources listed in the sources panel on the left. Now look at the center. This is the chat area. This is where you interact with your sources using natural language. Let's start with the simplest and most important question. Give me a high-level summary of all my sources. Press enter. NotebookLM now reads all the added sources and produces a combined summary. Notice something important. The answer is not generic. It is clearly grounded in the documents you uploaded. You can also see inline citations showing which source each point came from. This confirms that NotebookLM is not guessing. It is reasoning directly from your content. Now let's ask a deeper question. Explain artificial intelligence in simple terms using my sources. Press enter. NotebookLM now explains AI using definitions from your PDF, your Google Doc, and even the article and video sources. This is extremely useful for beginners. You are not reading 7 different sources manually. NotebookLM is doing that work for you while still keeping everything traceable. Now let's ask a comparison question. Compare artificial intelligence and machine learning based on my sources. Press enter. NotebookLM now pulls information from multiple sources and clearly explains the difference. This is where NotebookLM becomes very powerful. Doing this manually would require reading multiple documents and connecting ideas yourself. One more important concept is follow-up questions. You don't need to repeat everything again and again. For example, after an explanation, you can ask, "Can you simplify this for a beginner?" NotebookLM understands the context from the previous answer and responds accordingly. This makes the chat feel like a guided conversation with your documents. Whenever you see a useful response, don't forget to save it. Click on Save Note. This stores the answer inside your notebook for future use. Over time, your notes section becomes a curated knowledge base. Let me point out a very common mistake. Do not ask very broad questions that are unrelated to your sources. NotebookLM will always stay within your documents. If something is missing, add more sources instead of forcing the question. That is how NotebookLM is designed. In the next lecture, we will see how to ask questions to selected sources. I will see you in the next lecture. Hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we learned how to ask smart questions using multiple sources inside a notebook. Now in this lecture, we are going to learn how to ask questions using only selected source in Google NotebookLM. This is extremely useful when your notebook contains many documents and you want precise answers from specific sources only. Let's look at the screen. I am inside the notebook called AI Research Project. On the left side in the sources panel, you can see multiple sources added to this notebook. We have PDFs, Google Docs, a YouTube video, an image, and other files. By default, NotebookLM uses all available sources when answering a question. But sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want answers from only a few specific documents. That is where source selection comes in. Now watch carefully. In the sources panel, each source has a checkbox next to it. If I check a source, it becomes selected. If I uncheck a source, it is excluded from the conversation. Let me demonstrate this. First, let's unselect all the sources. Now let's select AI_fundamentals.pdf and AI study notes, Google Doc. I leave all other sources unchecked. Now look at the chat area at the bottom. You can see a small label that says 2 sources depending on how many we have selected. This tells us clearly how many sources NotebookLM will use for the next question. This is very important. NotebookLM is now restricted to only the selected sources. Now let's ask a question. Explain artificial intelligence in simple terms. And press enter. NotebookLM now generates an answer using only the selected PDF and Google Doc. Notice the citations. They come only from those 2 sources. The YouTube video, the image, and the other documents are completely ignored. This gives you much tighter control over the answers. Now let's change the selection. I uncheck the PDF and Google Doc. Now I select only the YouTube video source. Look at the chat area again. The source count changes. This confirms that NotebookLM understands which sources are active. Now I ask, what examples of AI are explained in this video? Press enter. NotebookLM now answers based only on the video content. This is extremely helpful when analyzing long videos or specific lectures. Now let's do one more example. I select 3 sources this time. 1 PDF, 1 article link, and 1 Google Doc. Now I ask, list real-world applications of AI mentioned in the selected sources. NotebookLM now combines information from exactly those 3 sources. This allows you to compare ideas across specific documents without noise from unrelated material. Now let me share some practical use cases. If you are a student, you can select only exam-relevant notes and ignore extra material. If you are a developer, you can select only official documentation and ignore blogs. If you are a researcher, you can select only peer-reviewed papers and exclude summaries. This feature gives you precision control over your learning. One common mistake to avoid. If you forget which sources are selected, you may get incomplete answers. Always glance at the source count near the chat input before asking a question. That small indicator can save you a lot of confusion. So let's summarize. By selecting and unselecting sources, you control what NotebookLM uses to answer questions. The chat clearly shows how many sources are active. And NotebookLM always respects your selection. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to search for sources directly inside Google NotebookLM. This feature allows you to pull in relevant materials from the web or from Google Drive without leaving your notebook. I am inside my notebook called AI Research Project. On the left side in the sources panel, you can see a search box that says search the web for new sources. Well, you can also see this feature in the add sources page as well. In the latest user interface, this feature is available here as well. Let me close this and let's search from here. NotebookLM provides two different ways to search for sources: fast research and deep research. Let's understand each one clearly, starting with fast research. Fast research is designed to quickly find relevant sources based on a simple query. It is ideal when you want to begin a notebook, explore a new topic, or quickly collect material. In the sources panel, I click inside the search box and type a query. For example, artificial intelligence applications. Below the search box, I can choose where NotebookLM should search. I can select web or drive. When I choose web, NotebookLM searches publicly available web sources. When I choose drive, NotebookLM searches Google Docs and slides that I already have access to in my Google Drive. Let's select web and click on search. NotebookLM quickly returns a list of relevant results. Each result includes the title of the source, a short description explaining how it relates to my query, and a link to open the full web page in a new tab. I can click on View to expand the results and review them carefully. From here, I can select one or multiple sources by checking the boxes. Once I am happy, I import the selected sources directly into my notebook. These sources now appear in the sources panel and behave like any other source. Fast research is perfect for quick discovery, early learning, and lightweight research. Now let's move to deep research. Deep research is a much more advanced and powerful feature. It is an agentic capability powered by Gemini that can browse hundreds of websites on your behalf. Deep research is designed for in-depth analysis and comprehensive understanding. To use deep research, I again go to the search box in the sources panel. This time, instead of a simple keyword, I type a research style question. For example, how is artificial intelligence used across healthcare, finance, and education? Below the search box, I toggle web and turn on deep research. Now I click search. NotebookLM begins a deep analysis process. This may take a couple of minutes. While the research runs, I can continue using NotebookLM normally. Once complete, NotebookLM produces two things. First, a detailed multi-page deep research report. Second, a list of relevant sources including cited and non-cited materials. I can click View to review everything. From here, I can choose to import all results or selectively import only the sources I trust and need. Any results that I do not import will be discarded when I exit deep research mode. Let's summarize the difference. Fast research is quick, lightweight, and ideal for discovery. Deep research is slower, more thorough, and ideal for serious study and professional work. Most experienced users start with fast research and then switch to deep research once the topic is clear. That is a very effective workflow. Let's recap what we have done. We learned how to search for sources inside NotebookLM. We explored fast research for quick source discovery. We explored deep research for in-depth multi-source analysis. And we learned how to review, select, and import sources into our notebook. I will see you in the next lecture. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to create, manage, and use notes inside Google NotebookLM. Notes are one of the most powerful yet often misunderstood features in NotebookLM. They help you capture insights, organize information, and add your own thinking on top of your sources. Now let's begin. I am inside my notebook called AI Research Project. On the right side, you can see the studio panel. Inside the studio panel, there is a section called Notes. This is where all your notes live. NotebookLM allows you to create notes in two different ways. Let's look at them one by one. To create a new note, go to the Studio panel, find the Notes section and click on Add Note. A new blank note opens. Here you can type your own content or paste text. This is where you add your own understanding, interpretations, summaries or conclusions based on your sources. For example, you might write your personal explanation of artificial intelligence after reading multiple documents. These notes are fully editable and you can update them anytime. The second way to create notes is directly from the chat area. When you ask a question and NotebookLM gives you a response that you like, look for the option called Save to Note. Click on Save to Note. NotebookLM immediately creates a new note from that response. One important thing to remember here. Saved response notes are not editable once they are created. This is intentional, so the original AI response remains unchanged. You can still add separate written notes to expand on the idea. Also remember this limit. You can create up to 1000 notes per notebook. That is more than enough for even very large projects. Now let's look at a very powerful feature. You can convert notes into sources. This means your notes can become part of the notebook's knowledge base. To convert a single note into a source, open the note and select Convert to Source. That note now appears in the Sources panel and can be used to answer future questions. You can also convert note to source from Notes section. Click the three-dot menu next to your notes. Here you can see Convert to Source option. Next, let's see how to convert all notes at once. In the Notes section, click on three dots on any note and select Convert all notes to source. This combines all the notes into a single source. You can see here in the Sources panel. This is extremely useful when your notes represent your refined understanding of a topic. Now let's look at exporting notes. In the Studio panel, click the three-dot menu next to your notes. You can export notes to Google Docs or Google Sheets. When exporting to Docs, your notes open in a new Google Doc in a new browser tab. One important limitation: changes made in the exported docs or sheets do not sync back to NotebookLM, and sharing permissions do not carry over automatically. Next, to delete the notes, click the three-dot menu next to your notes. Click on Delete to delete the particular note. So to summarize this lecture, you can create notes by writing them manually or saving chat responses. Notes help you capture insights and organize understanding. You can convert notes into sources, transform them, and export them. Used correctly, notes turn NotebookLM into a complete thinking and learning workspace. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to generate an audio overview inside Google NotebookLM. Audio overview is one of the most powerful and unique features of NotebookLM. Audio overviews are deep dive discussions between AI hosts that provide in-depth summaries of the key topics in your uploaded sources. These overviews are designed to be an objective reflection of your source content, rather than subjective opinions from the AI hosts. Now let's begin the demo. I am inside my notebook called AI Research Project. You can see multiple sources already added to this notebook. On the right side of the screen, you can see the Studio panel. Inside the Studio panel, we can select Audio Overview. To generate an AI podcast based on your sources, click on the Audio Overview. At this point, NotebookLM starts generating audio in the background. This is very important. You do not need to wait on the screen. You can continue generating other artifacts, asking questions, or even navigating to other screens while the audio is being created. It takes 5 to 10 minutes, depends on the sources. Now let's look at the customization options available here. Click on the edit icon to navigate to the Customize Audio Overview page. First, you can choose the audio format. By default, NotebookLM selects Deep Dive. Deep dive is an in-depth conversation between two hosts. They unpack ideas, connect concepts, and explain topics in a lively, conversational style using your sources. This format is ideal for learning complex topics or revising detailed material. Next, you can choose the brief. The brief is a quick overview delivered by a single speaker. It summarizes the key takeaways of your sources in under 2 minutes. This format is perfect when you want a fast recap before a meeting or exam. Next, we have the critique. In this format, two hosts provide constructive feedback on your material. This is especially useful for essays, design documents, or written arguments where you want evaluation rather than explanation. Then we have the debate. In this format, two hosts engage in a structured debate, exploring multiple perspectives based on your sources. This is very useful for controversial topics or comparing opposing viewpoints. After choosing the format, you can select the language. NotebookLM supports multiple languages, and the audio will be generated in the language you choose. If you are using English, you also have the option to control the length. You can choose shorter, default, or longer. Shorter gives you a compact version. Longer gives you a more detailed discussion. Next, you can input a custom prompt. This allows you to guide the audio. For example, you can ask the host to focus only on real-world applications, or explain the topic for beginners, or assume an advanced audience. This makes the audio overview highly flexible. Once everything is set, you can click on the Generate button to generate the audio overview in the background. It may take a couple of minutes. When the audio overview is ready, it appears in the studio panel and can be played immediately. Once the audio file generated, you can download and listen. In the next lecture, we will see how to manage an audio overview after it has been generated, like playing the audio, changing playback speed, renaming it, downloading it, sharing it, and deleting it. Alright, I'll see you in the next lecture. Hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we learned how to generate an audio overview from our sources using the studio panel. Now in this lecture, we are going to focus on how to manage an audio overview after it has been generated. This includes playing the audio, changing playback speed, renaming it, downloading it, sharing it, and deleting it. Let's look at the screen. I am inside my notebook called AI Research Project. In the studio panel, you can see an audio overview that has already been generated. Once you click on audio overview title, you can see the playback bar. This shows the current playback time and the total duration of the audio. Let's start with basic playback controls. At the left side of the playback bar, you can see the play and pause button. Click play and the audio overview starts. You will hear two AI hosts discussing and connecting topics from your sources. Remember, this discussion is designed to be an objective reflection of your uploaded content, not personal opinions. You can pause and resume playback at any time. Now let's change the playback speed. On the audio overview, click on the three-dot menu, also called the More menu. From the menu, select Change Playback Speed. Here you can increase or decrease the speed of the audio. This is very useful if you want to listen faster for revision or slower for deep understanding. Next, let's look at the download option. Open the same three-dot menu. Click on Download. NotebookLM downloads the audio overview to your local system. This is useful if you want to listen offline, share it externally, or archive it for later use. Now let's talk about sharing. Again, open the three-dot menu and select Share. This allows you to share the audio overview with others who have access to the notebook. Sharing follows the notebook's permissions. Users with view access can listen, but only editors can regenerate or delete it. Let's close this playback. Now look at the audio overview card in the studio panel. Next to the title, click on the three dots or open the menu and choose Rename. Give the audio overview a meaningful name. For example, Foundation Models, Deep Dive, or AI Basics, Audio Summary. This is very helpful when your notebook contains multiple audio artifacts. Next, if you no longer need an audio overview, you can delete it. Open the menu and select Delete. Remember, you must have edit access to delete an audio overview. Once deleted, it cannot be recovered. Next, let's see how to give the feedback about the audio overview. Click on the audio overview. Beside the audio overview, you can see thumbs up and thumbs down icons. You can use these to send feedback about the quality of the audio. This feedback helps improve future generations of audio overviews. Working while listening. Here is one of the most powerful features. You can listen to the audio overview while continuing to work inside NotebookLM. You can scroll through sources, open notes, check citations, or even ask new questions in the chat while the audio plays in the background. This makes NotebookLM a true multitasking learning environment. Before we wrap up, a few important reminders. Audio overviews are fully AI generated. They may occasionally contain minor inaccuracies or audio glitches. Always verify important details using your original sources. Also remember, generation may take a few minutes, especially for longer or deeper formats. So to summarize this lecture, you learned how to play, pause, and change playback speed of an audio overview. You learned how to rename, download, share, and delete it. And you learned how to listen while continuing to work inside NotebookLM. Hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous lectures, we learned how to generate and manage audio overviews inside Google NotebookLM. Now in this lecture, we are going to explore interactive mode feature of audio overviews. Interactive mode allows you to actively participate in an AI-generated discussion instead of just listening. Let's understand this step by step. Here, I have generated audio overview named AI use cases. Here you can see the interactive mode icon. Just click on it. At the top, you can see the title of the audio overview, and just below it, you can see two hosts. This tells us that this audio overview is a conversation between two AI hosts. Below the waveform, you can see a button labeled Join. This is the entry point to interactive mode. Now click on Play Audio button. Next, you can see Join button is enabled. When I click on the Join button, I am no longer just a listener. I become a participant in the discussion. NotebookLM allows me to interrupt the conversation, ask questions, or steer the discussion in a specific direction. This turns the audio overview into a live, interactive learning experience. Let's see how interaction actually works. Once you join, you can ask questions using natural language.
Especially trying to figure out what's hype and what's actually
For example,
real.
I might ask,
Can you explain this part with a real
world example?
Healthcare, finance, and education.
The AI host
Exactly,
immediately
to distill
responds
what is
to
actually
your
happening
input
on the
and adapt
ground.
the discussion. This is very different from traditional audio content. You are not passively consuming. You are actively learning. So, why interactive mode is powerful? Interactive mode is powerful because it combines three things: your sources, AI-generated discussion, and your real-time curiosity. The AI hosts do not invent new information. They stay grounded in your uploaded sources and continue to cite them. This makes interactive mode both engaging and reliable. At any time, you can pause the discussion using the pause button. You can also resume playback or restart the audio overview from the beginning. If you leave interactive mode, the audio overview continues as a normal audio experience. At the bottom of the screen, you can see two options: good discussion and bad discussion. These allow you to rate the quality of the audio overview, and the interaction. This feedback helps improve future AI discussions inside NotebookLM. Before we wrap up, there are a few important points you must remember. Interactive audio overviews are fully AI generated. This includes the voices, the conversation flow, and the responses. Because of this, there may be minor inaccuracies or audio glitches. Always verify critical information using the original sources. Also, interactive mode may not be available in all regions or accounts at all times. So let's summarize this lecture. Interactive mode allows you to join an AI-hosted discussion. You can ask questions and steer the conversation in real time. The discussion remains grounded in your sources. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to generate video overviews inside Google NotebookLM. Video overviews are designed to transform your sources into an AI-narrated video made up of structured slides. These videos automatically pull images, diagrams, quotes, and important numbers directly from your documents. Let's go step by step and see how this works. Prerequisites for video overviews. Before generating a video overview, make sure of two things. First, you must open an existing notebook or create a new one and upload sources. Second, you must have edit access to the notebook. If you only have view access, you won't be able to generate or delete a video overview. I am inside my notebook called AI Research Project. On the right side of the screen, you can see the Studio panel. Inside the Studio panel, I select Video Overview. As soon as I click it, NotebookLM starts generating a new video. The important thing to understand is that video generation happens in the background. This means you do not need to wait on the screen. You can continue asking questions, creating notes, or generating other artifacts while the video is being created. NotebookLM may take some time to generate the video overview, especially for notebooks with many or complex sources. You can safely come back later and check the result. Now let's talk about customization. To customize a video overview, look at the video overview tile in the Studio panel. Click the pencil icon. This opens the customization options. First, you can choose the format. NotebookLM currently offers two main formats. Explainer is a structured, comprehensive video designed for in-depth understanding. This format is ideal for learning complex topics or teaching material. Brief is a bite-sized video that helps you quickly grasp the core ideas of a document. This is perfect for quick reviews or high-level summaries. Next, you can choose the language for the video narration. NotebookLM supports multiple languages, so you can generate videos for different audiences. Now let's look at visual style. If you are an 18+ user, you can select a visual style for your video. Some examples include classic, whiteboard, watercolor, retro print, heritage, papercraft, kawaii, and anime. You can also let NotebookLM auto select a visual style for you. Or you can choose custom and describe the visual style you want in your own words. This gives you creative control over how your video looks. Finally, you can provide a steering prompt. This is extremely important. The steering prompt allows you to guide NotebookLM on what to focus on. For example, you can ask it to focus only on certain sources, highlight real-world applications, explain the topic for beginners, or target business professionals. This ensures the video overview matches your exact goal. Once the video overview is ready, it appears in the Studio panel. You can play the video directly inside NotebookLM. To start watching the video, simply click the play button. The video starts playing directly inside NotebookLM. The narration explains the topic, while slides show images, diagrams, quotes, and key points pulled from my sources. Now let's change the playback speed. Below the video, you can see a speed option which is set to 1x by default. click on 1x and select a faster or slower speed. This is very useful if you want to skim quickly or slow down to understand complex sections. You are not forced to watch the video from start to end. You can move forward or backward using the playback slider. You can also use the rewind or skip forward buttons to jump across sections. This makes it easy to revisit important parts or skip sections you already understand. For a better viewing experience, you can switch to full screen mode. Click on the full screen icon and the video expands to fill your screen. This is especially helpful when you want to focus on visuals and slides without distractions. You can exit full screen at any time and return to the notebook view. Now let's look at the management options. Next to the video overview, click on the three-dot menu. From here you can perform several actions. Select Rename. Give the video a clear and meaningful name. For example, AI Revolution Video Summary. This becomes very important when you have multiple videos inside the same notebook. Next, select Download. NotebookLM downloads the video to your local system. You can now watch it offline, share it externally, or include it in presentations, courses, or training material. Click Share, and the video overview can be shared with others who have access to the notebook. Sharing follows the notebook's permissions. Viewers can watch the video, but only editors can regenerate or delete it. If you no longer need the video, select Delete. Remember, you must have edit access to delete a video overview. Once deleted, the video is permanently removed. Below the video, you will see two feedback options: good video and bad video. Use these buttons to rate the quality of the video overview. This feedback helps improve future video generations inside NotebookLM. A quick best practice. Use video overviews when you want visual understanding or need to explain concepts to others. Before we wrap up, remember this. Video overviews are AI generated. They may occasionally contain minor inaccuracies or visual glitches. Always verify critical information using your original sources. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we will see how to generate an AI mind map based on your sources in Google NotebookLM. Mind maps in NotebookLM visually summarize your uploaded sources as a branching diagram. They help you see the big picture before diving into details. Let's understand when to use them and how to generate and interact with them. Mind maps are best used in four main situations. First, when you want a quick overview of a large set of documents. Instead of reading every source line by line, the mind map shows the key themes instantly. Second, when you are exploring a new topic. Mind maps give you a clear entry point into unfamiliar subjects by breaking them into understandable sections. Third, when you want to connect ideas. Mind maps help you visually discover relationships between concepts that may not be obvious in plain text. And finally, when you want to organize your thoughts and improve retention. Seeing information visually makes it easier to remember and explain later. Now let's generate one. I am inside an existing notebook that already has multiple sources uploaded. To generate a mind map, go to Studio panel. Click on this Mind Map tab. In the Studio panel, NotebookLM generates mind map. It takes few seconds to generate. Once generated, the mind map is saved inside the notebook and can be revisited at any time. Now let's understand the mind map layout. Click on the generated mind map. At the top, you can see the title of the mind map. Just below it, you can see how many sources were used to generate it. For example, this mind map is based on 16 sources. In the center, you see the main topic. From there, branches extend outward, representing major themes. Each branch contains subtopics and related ideas. This structure makes it easy to understand how concepts are organized. Mind maps in NotebookLM are fully interactive. First, you can zoom in and zoom out using the plus and minus buttons. You can also scroll to move around different areas of the mind map. Second, you can expand or collapse branches. Expanding a branch reveals more detailed subtopics. Collapsing a branch gives you a higher level view. This is very useful when switching between overview and detail mode. One of the most powerful features is node-based questioning. You can select any node inside the mind map. Once selected, you can ask questions in the NotebookLM chat about that specific topic. NotebookLM then answers based only on the sources related to that node. This makes learning much more focused and precise. To download the mind map, go the mind map again. From here, you can download the mind map to your local system. You can exit the mind map view and return to the notebook workspace. If you want to delete the mind map, open the three-dot menu and select Delete Note. This removes the existing mind map. There are two ways to share a mind map. Option 1. Share the entire notebook with another user. Anyone with access to the notebook can view the same mind map in the Studio panel. Option 2. Download the mind map from the mind map window and share the file directly. This is useful if you want to include it in presentations or external documents. Next, let's see how to provide feedback about the generated mind map. At the bottom of the mind map, you can see two options: good content and bad content. If you found the mind map helpful, select good content. If it was inaccurate, biased, or unhelpful, select bad content and provide a feedback. Your feedback helps improve future mind maps inside NotebookLM. Let's summarize this lecture. Mind maps visually summarize your uploaded sources. They help you understand the big picture, explore new topics, and connect ideas. You can zoom, expand, collapse branches, ask questions from nodes, download, share, and regenerate them. In the next lecture, we will see the complete example of generating mind map by adding new source. I will see you in the next lecture. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let's do a complete start to finish demonstration of mind maps in Google NotebookLM. We'll start by adding a real article source, then generate a mind map from it, explore the structure in detail, and finally download the mind map. This is a true end-to-end workflow. Let's begin with creating a new notebook in NotebookLM. You can give name to notebook as Learn AI. On the left side in the Sources panel, let's click on Add Sources. From the available options, let's choose Websites. Now let's paste the article URL. The article is titled How to Learn Artificial Intelligence, a Beginner's Guide. This article explains how beginners can approach learning artificial intelligence in a structured way. Once we confirm, NotebookLM imports the article as a source. Now let's look at the Sources panel. The article appears here, confirming that the source has been added successfully. With the source added, let's move to the Studio area. Click on the mind map. NotebookLM now reads the article and generates a mind map based entirely on its content. After a few moments, the mind map appears inside the Studio panel as a new note. Now let's look at the mind map. At the center, we see the main topic, how to learn artificial intelligence. This central node represents the core idea of the article. From this node, multiple branches extend outward, each representing a major section of the article. Let's start with the first major branch. Why learn AI? Let's expand this branch. Here we can see 4 subtopics. These points summarize why artificial intelligence is worth learning, exactly as explained in the article. Now let's move to the next major branch. Create a learning plan. Let's expand this branch. Here we see clear, actionable steps. Assess current knowledge. Define intention. Determine time commitment. Set budget. Choose learning method. Instead of reading long paragraphs, let's notice how the mind map turns the article into a simple visual checklist. Now let's quickly explore the remaining branches. Prerequisite skills shows what knowledge is needed before starting AI. Essential AI skills highlights the core skills a learner should develop. Tools and libraries points to practical tools used while learning AI. And sample timeline gives a rough idea of how long the learning journey might take. All of this structure comes from a single article, but the mind map makes it instantly understandable. Now let's interact with the mind map. Let's zoom in using the plus button to focus on one branch. Let's zoom out to see the full picture again. Let's collapse some branches to reduce visual clutter. And let's expand branches again when we want more detail. This flexibility makes mind maps useful for both quick reviews and deep exploration. Now let's take this further. Let's select the node prerequisite skills. It navigates to the chat. Let's wait to load the content for selected node in the chat. Now you can ask question to this selected node. What skills should be learned first before starting AI? NotebookLM responds using only the content from the selected article source. This gives a focused, source-grounded explanation. Now let's download the mind map. In the top right corner of the mind map window, let's click Download. NotebookLM downloads the mind map file to the system. This file can now be used for presentations, study notes, or teaching material. At the bottom of the mind map, let's look at the feedback options. Good content and bad content. If the mind map accurately reflects the article, let's select good content. This feedback helps improve future mind maps in NotebookLM. Let's summarize this demo. We added a real article source. We generated a mind map from it. We explored every major branch using a real example. We interacted with nodes, asked focused questions, and downloaded the mind map. This is exactly how mind maps in NotebookLM should be used to turn long articles into structured visual knowledge. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let's understand how to generate reports in Google NotebookLM. Reports allow us to transform our notebook sources into structured, written documents that are easy to read, share, and refine further. Let's walk through this step by step, completely hands-on. Before generating a report, let's clearly understand what this feature actually does. Reports take all the sources in our notebook and organize them into a structured document. Instead of chatting with sources or listening to audio overviews, we get a written output that feels like a professional document. This is extremely useful for learning material, documentation, planning, and content creation. Now let's look at the screen. Inside our notebook, we have already added sources. Next, let's go to the Studio panel on the right side. From the available options, let's select Reports. As soon as we click it, NotebookLM opens the Create Report window. This is where we decide the format and structure of our report. At the top, let's focus on the Format section. The first option is Create Your Own. This option allows us to fully customize the report by specifying the structure, style, tone, and focus. This is ideal when we want complete creative control. Next, we have Briefing Doc. A briefing doc creates an overview of our sources, highlighting key insights and important quotes. This format works best for quick summaries and executive level reading. Then we have Study Guide. This format generates a learning-focused document with short answer questions, suggested essay questions, and a glossary of key terms. This is perfect for students, trainers, and exam preparation. Next is blog post. This format converts our sources into a readable article with clear explanations and takeaways. This is ideal for educators, bloggers, and content creators. Now let's move down to the suggested format section. NotebookLM intelligently provides ready-made templates based on common real-world use cases. The first option here is strategic analysis. This format creates a cross-sector analysis covering adoption, challenges, and future outlook. Next, we have white paper. This generates an in-depth white paper focused on risks, implications, and deeper considerations. Then we have explanatory article. This format explains a topic step by step, starting from core definitions and moving to real-world applications. This is excellent for foundational learning. Finally, we see historical overview. This format explores the evolution of a topic from early concepts to modern breakthroughs. Now let's generate a report. Let's select one of the available formats. For this demonstration, let's choose explanatory article. Once selected, NotebookLM starts creating the report using only the sources inside our notebook. Just like other artifacts, report generation happens in the background. We can continue working while the report is being created. Once the report is ready, it appears in the Studio panel as a new artifact. Let's open it. We now see a structured document with clear headings, logical sections, and smooth flow. Most importantly, this content is grounded in our notebook sources, not generic AI knowledge. This makes the report transparent and trustworthy. Reports are best used when we want to turn research into documents, create structured learning material from multiple sources, prepare guides, articles, or analysis documents, or convert raw information into readable content. Many users combine mind maps and reports. First, they understand the structure visually, then generate a report for deep reading. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let's do a complete hands-on demonstration of the reports feature in Google NotebookLM. Our goal is simple. Let's take a PDF document and convert it into a well-written blog post using NotebookLM. This is one of the most practical features for educators, bloggers, and content creators. Let's first make sure our PDF source is ready. Next, create a new notebook or open the existing one. So here, I am going to open the existing notebook named Learn AI. On the left side of the screen in the Sources panel, click on the Sources. Click on Upload Files. Select the PDF file. This PDF contains content about artificial intelligence, including definitions, examples, types of AI, and real-world use cases. This is exactly the kind of content that works well for a blog post. Once you add the PDF file, it's listed in the Sources section. We want to generate blog post using this PDF, so make sure to only select in Source. Now let's move to the right side of the screen. In the Studio panel, let's click on Reports. As soon as we click it, NotebookLM opens the Create Report window. This is where the transformation happens. Before generating the report, let's quickly understand what we see here. At the top, we have the Format section. We can see options like Create Your Own, Briefing Doc, Study Guide, and Blog Post. Below that, NotebookLM also shows suggested formats. These are intelligent templates that help us get started faster. For this demo, let's select Blog Post. The blog post format is designed to convert our source material into a clear, readable article. It focuses on explanations, flow, and key takeaways instead of technical formatting. This is perfect when we want to publish content or share knowledge in a friendly way. Once blog post is selected, let's confirm the action. NotebookLM now starts generating the report in the background. Behind the scenes, It reads the entire PDF, identifies the important sections, and restructures the content into blog format. We don't need to write a single line manually. This takes few minutes to generate the report. Once the report is ready, it appears in the Studio panel as a new artifact. Let's click on it to open the blog post. Now we can see a fully structured article. It starts with a strong introduction that explains what artificial intelligence is and why it matters today. As we scroll, we see sections that explain core AI concepts, real-world examples, and different types of AI in a smooth narrative style. This content comes directly from the PDF source, but it feels like a human-written blog post. Let's pause for a moment and understand the value. Normally, turning a PDF into a blog post takes hours of work. We would need to read, summarize, rewrite, and structure the content manually. NotebookLM does this in minutes while staying grounded in the original source. That means less hallucination and more trust. This blog post is not final or locked. You should edit it further if needed. Next, you can copy and use in blogging platform. Before we close, let's remember one thing. Reports are AI generated. Even though NotebookLM grounds responses in your sources, always review the output before publishing. This ensures accuracy, clarity, and your personal touch. Let's quickly summarize what we did in this lecture. We used a PDF file as a source. We opened the reports feature from the Studio panel. We selected the blog post format. NotebookLM generated a clean, readable blog article from the PDF. This is how you transform documents into publishable content using NotebookLM. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we will see how to generate flashcards in Google NotebookLM. Flashcards help us convert our sources into active learning material, making it easier to revise, memorize, and test understanding. Let's go step by step and see how this works in a real notebook. So here we have already created notebooks. Let's open Learn AI Notebook. We have already added the sources to the notebook. If you want to add more sources, you can use Add Sources option here. Now let's look at Studio panel on the right side of the screen. Among the available options, let's click on Flashcards. As soon as we click it, NotebookLM opens the Customize Flashcards window. This screen allows us to control how the flashcards are generated. At the top, let's look at number of cards. Here we see three options: Fewer, Standard, and More. By default, Standard is selected. This gives us a balanced number of flashcards without overwhelming us. For now, let's keep it at Standard. Next, let's look at level of difficulty. We can choose Easy, Medium, or Hard. By default, Medium is selected. Medium difficulty is ideal for understanding concepts while still being challenging. Let's keep the default medium level. Now let's move to the most important part. The input box asks, what should the topic be? This is where we guide NotebookLM to generate focused flashcards. We can specify that the flashcards should be based on a specific source or focus on a specific topic. For example, let's type something like Key Concepts of Artificial Intelligence from the selected source. This ensures the flashcards stay grounded in our actual content. Once everything looks good, let's click on Generate. NotebookLM now analyzes the source, identifies important questions and answers, and creates flashcards automatically. This happens in the background just like other artifacts. It takes few seconds to generate the flashcards. Once ready, the flashcards appear in the Studio panel as a new artifact called AI Flashcards. Let's click on it to open the flashcard view. We now see a full screen flashcard interface. At the top, we can see the title and a label saying based on to source, which confirms the flashcards are grounded in our selected source. Let's look at how to interact with these flashcards. In the center, we see the flashcard question. To reveal the answer, let's press space or click on See Answer. To move forward or backward, let's use the arrow buttons on the left and right sides. We can also use the keyboard arrows to navigate quickly. At the bottom, we can see the progress indicator, for example 1 out of total cards. This helps us track how much we have covered. Let's look at the additional controls available. At the top right, we can switch to full screen mode. At the bottom right, we can download the flashcards for offline access. We also see options to provide feedback by marking the content as good or bad. This feedback helps NotebookLM improve over time. Back in the Studio panel, let's click on the three-dot menu next to the flashcards. From here, we can rename the flashcards, share them, or delete them if no longer needed. This makes flashcards easy to organize inside larger notebooks. Let's pause and understand why this feature is powerful. Flashcards turn passive reading into active recall. Instead of just reading content, we are forced to think, answer, and verify understanding. This significantly improves long-term memory. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let's do a complete hands-on demonstration of the quiz feature in Google NotebookLM. Quizzes help us test understanding, reinforce learning, and identify gaps after studying our sources. Let's go step by step and see how to generate and use quizzes effectively. So here we have already created notebooks. Let's open Learn AI Notebook. We have already added the sources to the notebook. If you want to add more sources, you can use Add Sources option here. Now let's look at Studio panel. On the right side of the screen, you can see Quiz. You can directly click on this Quiz tab, or you can customize before generating the quiz. Let's see the customization option, and then we will generate the quiz. Click on the pencil icon. The NotebookLM opens the Customize Quiz window. This screen allows us to control exactly how the quiz will be generated. At the top, let's look at number of questions. We see three options here: Fewer, Standard, and More. By default, Standard is selected. This gives us a balanced quiz that is not too short and not overwhelming. For this demo, let's keep Standard selected. Next, let's look at level of difficulty. We can choose between easy, medium, and hard. By default, medium is selected. Medium difficulty is ideal for most learners because it checks understanding without being too basic or too advanced. Let's keep the default medium level. Now let's move to the most important input. The field asks, what should the topic be? This is where we guide NotebookLM to generate a focused quiz. We can specify that the quiz should be based on specific sources or a particular concept. For example, let's enter something like key concepts of artificial intelligence based on the selected sources. This ensures the quiz questions stay grounded in our notebook content. Once everything looks correct, let's click on Generate. NotebookLM now reads the sources, identifies important concepts, and creates multiple choice questions. Just like other artifacts, quiz generation happens in the background. It takes few seconds to generate the quiz. Let's wait. Once ready, the quiz appears in the Studio panel as a new artifact named AI Quiz. Let's click on it to open the quiz interface. At the top, we can clearly see the quiz title and the label based on two sources. This confirms that the quiz is grounded in our actual notebook sources, not generic AI knowledge. Now let's look at the quiz experience. Each question appears with multiple answer options. Let's select an answer. As soon as an option is selected, NotebookLM immediately shows feedback. Correct answers are highlighted in green with a right answer label. Incorrect answers are marked clearly, along with an explanation of why that option is not correct. You can also see the hint option here. Click on hint option to see the hint for the answer. You can maximum the screen and you give check the quiz questions. We can continue answering until all questions are completed. At the bottom of the quiz, we can see two buttons, good content and bad content. These options allow us to give feedback on the quality of the quiz. Providing feedback helps NotebookLM improve future generations. Back in the Studio panel, let's click on the three-dot menu next to the AI quiz. From here, we can rename the quiz, share it with others, or delete it if it is no longer needed. This makes it easy to manage quizzes inside large notebooks. Let's pause and understand why this feature matters. Quizzes promote active recall, which is one of the most effective learning techniques. Instead of passively reading, we are forced to think, answer, and reflect. This significantly improves concept retention and exam readiness. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let's do a complete hands-on demonstration of the infographic feature in Google NotebookLM. Infographics help us turn complex information from our sources into a single visual summary. They are perfect for quick understanding, visual learning, and sharing ideas clearly. Let's walk through this step by step. So here, we have already created notebooks. Let's open Learn AI Notebook. We have already added the sources to the notebook. If you want to add more sources, you can use Add Sources option here. These are the sources to Introduction to AI and How to Learn AI. Now let's see how to infographic summary image for these sources. Let's first look at the Studio panel on the right side of the notebook. Among the available options, look for Infographic. You can either directly generate infographic with default settings, or you can customize it before generating. Let's see the customize options and then we will generate the infographic. Click on the pencil icon here. NotebookLM opens the Customize Infographic window. This panel allows us to control how the infographic will look and feel. At the top, let's look at Choose Language. By default, English is selected. NotebookLM also supports multiple other languages, which is useful for global audiences. For this demo, let's keep English selected. Next, let's look at Choose Orientation. We can select Landscape, Portrait, or Square. Landscape is currently selected, which works well for timelines, learning paths, and wide layouts. Let's keep Landscape selected. Now let's move to Level of Detail. Here we have three options: Concise, Standard, and Detailed, which is marked as Beta. By default, Standard is selected. Standard Detail provides enough explanation without making the infographic too crowded. Let's keep Standard for now. Now let's move to the most important part. The input box asks us to describe the infographic we want to create. This is where we guide NotebookLM on style, color, and focus. For example, let's type something like, create an AI learning path for beginners, use a clean blue color theme, and highlight the key stages and career statistics. This helps NotebookLM generate a more targeted and useful visual. Once everything looks good, let's click on Generate. NotebookLM now analyzes our sources, extracts the main ideas, and designs a visual layout. The infographic is generated in the background, so we don't need to wait idly. It takes few seconds to generate the infographic. Once ready, the infographic appears in the Studio panel with a title, for example, AI Learning Path for Beginners. Below the title, we can see based on two sources, which confirms the infographic is grounded in our actual notebook content. We can zoom in and zoom out using the controls on the right side. At the top, we see options to share, download, collapse the viewer, or close the viewer. This makes it easy to inspect details or present the infographic. At the bottom of the viewer, we can see good content and bad content buttons. These allow us to share feedback about the quality of the infographic. Providing feedback helps NotebookLM improve future generations. Back in the Studio panel, let's click on the three-dot menu next to the infographic title. From here, we can rename the infographic, download it as a PNG file, share it, or delete it. We can also view the custom prompt used to generate the infographic. This is helpful when we want to refine or regenerate visuals later. Let's pause and understand the value of this feature. Infographics compress large amounts of information into a single visual. They are ideal for quick revision, presentations, social sharing, and visual learners. They also pair extremely well with reports, mind maps, and flashcards. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let's learn how to generate a slide deck in Google NotebookLM. Slide decks allow us to transform our sources into a polished presentation that we can review, present, or share as a PDF. This feature is extremely useful for teaching, presentations, internal reviews, and knowledge sharing. Let's walk through this step by step, completely hands-on. Let's start inside an existing notebook that already contains sources. Now let's look at the Studio panel on the right side. From the available tools, you can see Slide Deck here. Before generating, let's click the pencil icon to customize the deck. This opens the customization panel where we can guide how the presentation is created. The first option is choose a format. Here we see two choices. The first is detailed deck. A detailed deck includes full text, explanations, and detailed slides. This is perfect for reading, emailing, or self-study. The second option is presenter slides. Presenter slides are clean, visual, and contain key talking points. They are ideal when we plan to speak and use the slides as visual support. For this demo, let's select presenter slides. Next, let's select the output language. By default, English is selected. NotebookLM also supports multiple languages, which is useful for global presentations. Now let's choose the length of the deck. We can select short, default. Short works well for quick overviews. For this demo, let's keep default length. Now let's move to the most important part, the prompt input. This is where we describe what kind of slide deck we want. For example, let's type something like create a beginner-friendly slide deck with a clean visual style, step-by-step structure, and clear explanations of the core concepts. This helps NotebookLM understand the audience, tone, and focus. Once everything looks good, let's click Generate. NotebookLM now starts analyzing our sources and building the presentation. The slide deck is generated in the background, so we can continue working in the notebook. It takes few minutes to generate the complete slide deck. When the deck is ready, it appears in the Studio panel with a title. Below the title, we can see how many sources were used. Let's click the title to open the slide deck viewer. Let's click it to enter full screen presentation mode. Look at the slide deck content. It looks amazing, and look at the visuals and key points. Inside the viewer, we can scroll to move between slides. We can zoom in and zoom out for better readability. At the top, we see options to share, download as, PDF, or expand the viewer. There is also a Start Slideshow option. Now we can navigate using arrow keys or mouse clicks. To exit slideshow mode, let's press Escape. You can download this slide deck in the PDF format. Click on this download icon over here. You can see the downloaded PDF file. Now let's how to manage multiple slide decks. Back in the Studio panel, let's click the three-dot menu next to the slide deck. From here, we can rename the deck, download it as a PDF, share it or delete it. We can also select View Custom Prompt to see exactly how the deck was generated. Let's quickly understand the sharing options. We can share a direct link to the slide deck if public sharing is enabled. We can also share the entire notebook so others can access the deck from the studio panel. Or we can download the deck as a PDF and share it manually. Let's remember one thing. Slide decks are AI generated. They may contain visual or factual inaccuracies. Always review the slides before sharing or presenting, especially for critical topics. Let's summarize what we learned in this lecture. We generated a slide deck from notebook sources. We customized format, language, length, and prompt. We viewed the deck, presented it in slideshow mode, downloaded it as PDF, and managed it from the studio panel. This makes NotebookLM a powerful tool not just for research but also for presentations.
Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how to use NotebookLM to create the slide deck as a PDF file, and then we'll make that PDF into editable PowerPoint slides. So here I'm in a NotebookLM. Let's create a new notebook over here. And then here let us upload the source. So here I'm going to upload the PDF file, that is ai.pdf, that contains the AI related content. Alright, now I have added ai.pdf file as a source to the notebook. So this ai.pdf file basically contains the content related to artificial intelligence, and now we want NotebookLM to generate the presentation for this PDF content. Okay, for that we can use slide deck feature. So here in a studio section you can see over here slide deck. So we can use slide deck feature to generate the presentation. So before creating the slide deck, you can customize using this customize slide deck page over here. You can choose the format, you can choose the language, you can choose the length like short and default. You can also describe like how the slide deck you want. Okay, so we'll keep the defaults and we'll click on the slide deck over here. So as soon as we clicked slide deck, NotebookLM start generating the slide deck for this source. So it will take few minutes to generate the slide deck. So let us wait for it. Well, notice here the slide deck is generated. Next, click on it. And now you can see the slide deck slides over here. This presentation looks good. And here you can download this slide deck as a PDF file. So just click on this download button. It will download as a PDF file. You cannot download it as a PPT. Okay. Now we want to convert this PDF into editable Microsoft PowerPoint slides. Well, if you try to use the online tools, they will basically import the PDF and convert each PDF page as an image in the PPT slide, and the text is not editable. Alright, so in order to make the PDF text editable, we have to use Canva. So here go to the new tab and just type convert PDF to editable PPT and just hit enter. And here you can see the Canva link, free PDF to PPT converter. Here if I upload the PDF file, you can see the Canva will basically convert this PDF into PowerPoint slides. So it will take some time, so let's wait for it. Now the Canva has converted the PDF into Microsoft PowerPoint. And here if you try to edit the text, it is not editable because each PDF page becomes an image in the PPT slides. Next, let us see how to make the text editable in the slides. So here just select the slide that you want to edit and then click on the edit button over here. And then here you can see Magic Studio. Under Magic Studio, just search for grab text. And if you look at here, grab text is available for Canva Pro version. Okay, you can see the icon over here. Just click on the grab text, and then here we need to select the text to make editable. For example, here I am going to select this text and I am going to click on the grab. Now Canva will make this particular text editable. For example, here I am going to edit the text. the artificial intelligence in the machine, like this. Okay, next similarly you can go ahead and do the same steps for remaining slides. You can just select the slide, click on the edit button, go to the Magic Studio, just search for the grab text, and then here you need to select the text that you want to make editable. So here you can select multiple text as well. Just press the control button and then select the text like this, and then click on grab button. Next you can go ahead and edit the text, and here the NotebookLM logo is not required, you can delete it. It is editable, so you can delete it. Perfect. Next what you can do is you can do the same steps for other slides, and then you can download this PPT point. For example, here I'm going to just delete the remaining slides. You can do the same steps to make the text editable for all these slides. Now the PPT contains these 2 slides. Now I'm going to download it, and here just select PPTX. Okay, and then click on download. The download is completed. Next I'm going to open this PPT, and now click on the enable editing, and here you can see you can able to edit the text. This is awesome, right? So if you try to import the PDF directly into Microsoft PowerPoint, then each PDF page becomes an image in the PPT slides. You cannot edit the image, isn't it? That's why here we have used Canva Pro provided feature, that is grab text feature, to make the text editable. So let me recap what we have done in this video. We have used NotebookLM to create the slide deck, and we have downloaded it as a PDF file, and then we have used Canva to convert that PDF into Microsoft PowerPoint, and then we have used Canva Pro version to make the text editable in each slide, and then we have downloaded it, and then we have verified that the text is very editable in the PPT slides. Okay, great. I will see you in the next video. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Google provided NotebookLM AI tool to create a blog post using YouTube videos. For example, here I have YouTube video, what is LLM, that is large language models. Now I want to convert this YouTube video into a ready to read blog post. So in order to do that, we can use NotebookLM AI tool. So let us open the browser. In a new tab, just type notebooklm.google.com. This will head over to the login page. You can log into the NotebookLM by using Gmail account or Google account. So NotebookLM is the Google provided product, so you can use Gmail account to log into the NotebookLM. So once you log into the NotebookLM, you can see the landing page over here. So here first you need to create the new notebook. For that you can click on the create new button or create new notebook. So just click on it. This will open the NotebookLM workspace. So here you can see 3 sections: sources, chat, studio. So here we add the sources, and here we can interact with the sources by using this chat section, and we can convert the sources into different outputs like audio, video, mind map, quiz, flashcards, slide deck, reports, etc. Okay, now we are going to convert the YouTube video content into the blog post, right? So here go to the sources, and here we need to add the sources. So before that, let us rename this notebook. By default the name is untitled notebook, so let us give name as blog post demo, like that, and then click on this add sources button over here, and here you can see websites. So just click on it. Here we can provide the YouTube video link. So go to the video, that is YouTube video, and here click on share, and then copy this URL and go back to the NotebookLM, and here just paste it. You can paste multiple URLs over here. Okay, so you can see to add multiple URLs, separate with space or a new line. Let us say you want to generate a blog post by using multiple YouTube videos. Then you can add all those YouTube video URLs over here. Just make sure that those URLs should be separated by a space or a new line. Okay, next go ahead and click on the insert button. So this will insert a video as a source over here, you can see. So NotebookLM basically extract all the transcript of this video. You can see the transcript over here. Okay, now we have our sources ready. Next, let us convert this YouTube video content into ready to read blog post. For that, go to the studio. Here, let me maximize it and go to the report section over here. And here you can see the format. Create your own report, briefing doc, study guide, blog post. So we are interested in a blog post. So just click on this pencil icon, and from here we can customize the blog post. For example, you can choose the language for the blog post. By default it is English, but you can choose other languages as well. And then here you can give the custom prompt. By default it is provided like this, but we can give our own prompt like create a blog post for beginners, add introduction and conclusions, follow the SEO standards, make it productive. Perfect. Next, go ahead and click on generate button to generate the blog post. So as soon as we click on generate button, you can see NotebookLM started generating the report. So ideally it will take 1 or 2 minutes. We have to wait for it. Well, notice here the report is generated. Next, go ahead and click on this. And if you can see, this is the blog post. And if you can see the content over here, this is the blog post title. This is the introduction. And these are the different sections. And at the end, you can see the conclusion as well. So this blog post basically followed the SEO standards. Next, you can go ahead and copy this blog post and you can publish it on your blogging platform. This is awesome, right? We don't have to spend a lot of time on writing the blog post. The NotebookLM easily creates the blog post from the sources that we have added over here. Okay, perfect. I will see you in the next video.
Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, let's learn how to turn a YouTube video into an infographic using Google NotebookLM. No manual summarizing, no design work, no copy paste. Just a YouTube link and NotebookLM does the rest. Let's start from zero and do this step by step. First, let's open NotebookLM in the browser. On the NotebookLM homepage, let's click Create New. A new notebook opens. At the top, let's rename it. For example, YouTube to Infographic Demo. Now here's the key rule. NotebookLM works only from the sources we add. So let's add the YouTube video. On the left side in the sources panel, let's click Add Sources. Let's say we want to generate the infographic image for this video. Generative AI Engineer Roadmap 2026. Okay. Now select YouTube video link. Go to the NotebookLM, paste the YouTube URL of the video that you want to convert into an infographic. Click Add. NotebookLM now reads the video transcript and understands the content. Once the video appears in the sources list, we are ready to generate. Next, let's move to the right side to the studio panel. Here, let's click Infographic. As soon as we click it, NotebookLM analyzes the YouTube video content. It identifies key ideas, important points, and logical sections. Then it converts all that information into a single visual summary. While it's generating, let's see how to customize it. Click the pencil icon. Here we can choose the language. We can select the level of detail, concise, standard, or detailed. We can choose the orientation, square, portrait, or landscape. And we can add a prompt, for example, highlight the top 5 key takeaways from this video using simple visuals. Now let's close this and wait for the infographic to finish generating. It takes few seconds to generate the infographic. Once it's ready, the infographic appears inside the studio panel. Let's click to open it. Now we can zoom in, review the visuals, and understand the infographic at a glance. If we want to share it, we can use the share option. And if we want to keep it, we can download it as an image file. That's it. We just converted a YouTube video into an infographic using Google NotebookLM. This is perfect for students, educators, and content creators who want visual summaries without extra effort.